The movie The Blind Side was all about the story of Michael Oher, who was a young man growing up outside of Memphis who was experiencing homelessness, is taken in by a family and becomes a first-round draft pick in the National Football League. It is a wonderful book. It is a wonderful movie. It is a truly compelling story. There's one scene from the movie where Michael Oher's high school football coach finally reaches an understanding of what is going to motivate Michael the most. He had been a little confused in practices. He seemed like he had been a little bit lazy. But the coach, with some help from Luann Tui, played by Sandra Bullock, has some insight into what finally is going to get to Michael, what is going to resonate with him, and what is going to bring out the best in him. And here's the clip right now.
Cut back! Come on, let's go! Fat black piece of crap. Hey! Ref, are you gonna do something about this? He just kicked my boy in the head and he cussed him! Thank you.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, Wingate, 15 yards.
What?
You shut up, you get another 15.
This young man plays for my team. My team. And I will defend him like he's my own son.
What you see is the coach's realization that Michael had a need to be defended. There were specific requirements. Michael had specific needs that were going to bring out his best. As you know, I am a travel softball coach, and we last weekend had our last showcase of the fall. And it was great. And we had games on Saturday. We had 3 games on Saturday. We went 3-0, had one incredible comeback, had one game where we beat a team that we literally had never beaten in the past. And then we get to Sunday, and we played against a team who was the best team we'd played against all fall, against a pitcher who was the best pitcher we had seen all fall. And as if that weren't enough, and I am not this guy, if that weren't enough, we were dealing with a home plate umpire who had some trouble with his balls and strikes calls. There was no discernible strike zone throughout the course of the game. And my girls know when they play for me that you do not argue a call. You do not make a face. You do not shrug your shoulders. It's really 2 people's responsibility during the course of a game. Our catcher can talk to the home plate ump about whether a ball was in or out, whether it was up or down, or it's Kayla, the woman with whom I coach, or me. That's it. Players do not talk to umpires, certainly do not argue, and the girls were getting frustrated. Part of the frustration was born out of the effectiveness of the pitcher. Part of the frustration was born out of the fact that it was Halloween weekend, and the girls were not super psyched with Coach Mike for scheduling a showcase on Saturday and Sunday of Halloween weekend. And they were frustrated by the calls that were happening throughout the course of the game. And I talked to them before the game because I had gotten word from another coach who had a game on the field before ours. I talked to them throughout the game. You don't say a word. Let me handle it. And I will handle it. And there's only so much you can do in these kinds of situations. You start saying too many things and you're never going to get a call. Umpires, like referees, like anybody else, they're human beings. And you start to crap on them and they're never going to give you a call. And we lost the game 4-1, which was okay. The energy was low. The girls were clearly tired from Halloween weekend. But we had one player on the team who was really frustrated. She actually made the last out of the game on a strike 3 call, looking on a pitch that was nowhere near the strike zone. And we're walking off the field, and she barked at me a little bit. And she said to me, "Coach Mike, I thought you said you had our backs. I thought you said you were going to defend us. You were going to take care of this ump during the course of the game, and you didn't do a really good job of that." And that player and I had a conversation about probably the most appropriate and effective way to have a conversation of that nature. And I sat with that conversation all day Sunday and Sunday night. And I started to get really upset. Not with the young woman, really more with myself. I pride myself as a coach on knowing my players. on really spending the time to understand who they are and what motivates them. I'm a good coach, tacticianally, and know when to do what to do. But the thing, I think my strength is the interpersonal piece of it. And I felt like I had let my girls down. The message to me in thinking through what happened on Sunday and going back to the clip that you saw a few moments ago really is the absolute crucial nature of our understanding those people for whom and over whom we have responsibility. As leaders, it is crucial that we understand what, in the most effective way possible, is going to get our people from point A to point B. What is going to give them the greatest opportunity for success? And the only way we can do that is if we know what makes them tick. You cannot lead everybody the same way. There were young women on my team this weekend who thought I was fine, who thought the couple of sarcastic comments that I made to the ump in between innings, and certainly the comment I made to him after the game, that was sufficient to defend them, to take care of them. One young woman did not feel the same way. And the reason I was so disappointed in myself is I should have known better. Because I do know her pretty well. I do know that she's the child of a single mom. I do know that there have been abandonment issues during the course of her life. I do know that she gets very emotional in certain situations, certainly in those situations where she doesn't perform as well as she might like to. And I should have done a better job. Whether it was during one of her earlier at-bats, whether it was during her last at-bat, whether it was immediately following her striking out looking to end the game, I should have done more. I should have known better. And the reason I should have known better is because I know her. And I do know what motivates her. Do you understand what motivates your people? And there's really so many different ways we can get to that end. Are we having the informal conversations about things that have nothing to do with work? Are we humanizing ourselves? Are we sharing interests? Are we making sure that we're checking in with our people on a weekly basis, on a bi-weekly basis, that we're having dialogue, ongoing dialogue in a one-on-one context and in the group context? Because some people are more effective in a one-on-one and some people are more effective in the group. Are we doing those, what some people would refer to as little things, I will refer to as absolutely seminal activities, so that we can appreciate what is going to make our people the most effective they can be, the happiest they can be. In my specific situation this last weekend, feel like they are being defended in the best way that they can be. Another tact that as leaders we need to do a better job of doing is explaining to our people why we're doing what we're doing. And there are too many leaders out there who still get very defensive with this. I don't need to explain to them why I made the decision that I made. Well, sometimes you do. And you know what? Last weekend, I probably didn't do a good enough job of that. I probably did not talk to this young one. I probably did not talk to some other people enough and explain to them that the reason I wasn't getting up in the ump's grill, the reason I wasn't yelling and screaming and carrying on, was I understood, based on a prior conversation I had had with the coach on the field before ours, that that tactic didn't work for her. So that if I would have jumped up and down and there would have been histrionics and theatrics, it would have had the exact opposite effect of what we were trying to accomplish. But I didn't tell my players that. We do have a responsibility at times to explain to our people why we do what we do in the moment that we do it. You look back at that clip from The Blind Side. That coach in that moment understood there was a single act that was going to bring the best out of his player. And that was for his player to understand that under any circumstances, he would have his back. That's what I should have done last weekend. That is not necessarily what works in all situations. What works in all situations is our understanding as leaders that A, we cannot treat everybody the same, and B, that we take the time to get to know our people so that we do know in those crucial moments what is going to be that thing, or what are going to be those things that are going to enable that employee to be their best selves. Thanks so much, folks. As always, I truly appreciate your watching, truly appreciate your commenting and your sharing. Hope to see you real soon.